Literacy. What comes to mind when you hear that word? Is it the endless amounts of books you read for school? Or is it that college essay I just submit when applying? Or is it the people who helped you get to the comprehension you have today? Think about it. Without your teachers, family, and peers, would you be able to understand that news article you read this morning? Or that new book your friend told you about? I'm in college, and to be able to comprehend this level of assignments, I had to start early, all the way back before I started school. The people who have helped me are called literary sponsors. According to an article by Deborah Brandt, a literary sponsor is, quote, the figures who turned up the most, typically in people's memories of literacy learning. Older relatives, teachers, priests, supervisors, military officers, editors, and influential authors. End quote. Many people would put their teachers as their first literary sponsor. But for me, it would have to be my mother. Before I started pre-K, my mother would read books to me. I remember the famous Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss. But sooner than later, I was reading to her. I remember when I was a little kid, I'd read books about monster trucks and dragons before going to bed. Not only did these late night reading sessions help me learn how to read, but they also helped me learn how to speak properly and fluently. During the time I was raising my mom, I also started school. One person at my elementary school that stuck out to me was my speech teacher. I went to her twice a week because I had a speech impediment. I couldn't pronounce the S sound properly. I would always clamp down on my tongue with my upper and lower teeth. This impediment required a special class where this teacher helped me overcome the speech impediment. Over the course of first grade, I was able to remove the impediment, and now I have a normal pronunciation of S. My next literary sponsor would have to be my 7th grade English teacher. Now, I know what some of you guys are thinking. Trey, you skipped from 1st to 7th grade. Why? Well, let me quickly explain. All the teachers up to here did the exact same thing. 1 hour English practice, 30 minutes of reading daily. So there's really not much to say about those teachers. Besides, they were all perfectly fine. They helped me get to where I am. But I have a lot more to say about my 7th grade teacher, Mr. Moore. During this year, Mr. Moore taught the entire class how to write a proper 5-paragraph essay. Mr. Moore had a method called the hand method, where each different finger on your hand represented something different. First was the thumb, the introductory paragraph, where you need a hook, thesis, and to introduce your 3 supporting topics for the thesis. The index finger to the ring finger followed the same principle of the supporting claim, the evidence to elaborate, and then you elaborate 2 sentences. All 3 body paragraphs follow that rule. Besides, if it was an argumentative essay, the 3rd paragraph would also have the rebuttal. Last was your pinky, which was your conclusion. You restate your thesis, and you restate your 3 supporting points, and a nice sentences that satisfies the reader at the very end. I used that formula all throughout high school, all throughout middle school, and it passed all my FSA. But by the time I hit sophomore year, something needed to change. The hand method was no longer going to write me extraordinary papers that would receive an A. During my freshman year of high school, my teacher was a literary inhibitor, a person who hurts your reading, writing, and thinking. I'm not going to name her name, not going to name names, but this teacher would almost give me an F on every paper I wrote. It didn't matter if I put 4 hours or 4 minutes of work. It would almost every time be an F. She also never told me why I'll be getting Fs. No feedback. Nothing. When I went to talk to her, all she'd say, I don't know, you have to figure out why your writing sucks. I was like, wow! I'm asking for feedback for a reason. I know my writing sucks. I just need some feedback. Maybe if you would do your job and help me out, I could get an A. But no! You're just getting... Okay, side tangent done. Side tangent over. I seriously need assistant writing papers and essays. Luckily for me, sophomore year was starting, and I hoped I would see a good teacher for that English class, and a good teacher she was. Mrs. Thomas was my sophomore year teacher that improved my writing a ton. The first thing she did when I asked for help, get this, was create a separate meeting for a classmate and myself to attend because we were having near identical issues. In a matter of 3 weeks, she did more than my ninth grade teacher did in a year. During that particular conference, we worked on simple grammar tricks like commas and quotes, since that's what the other kid and I need help with. After about 5 to 6 of those sessions, we had our first paper for that class. I remember thinking I was going to receive like a D or an F like normal, but I actually received a C. If just fixing my grammar could change my grade a whole letter or two, what else could it fix? Freaking ninth grade teacher, that's all you had to do. That's all you had to do, and I could have got a better grade. And side tangent back over. Throughout the rest of the year, we would meet, and continually work on my writing skills enough to where for my last paper, I got an A on it. Getting that A made me very happy and proud of myself. I also ended up receiving an A on the final exam paper we wrote that year. Continuing on to junior year, I started taking the ACT so I could be accepted into colleges. My initial score for English and reading sections was a very high score, 14 out of 36 and 19 out of 36. Yeah, I needed some work on my comprehension skills. Something I haven't mentioned yet is that I used to hate to read anything. If a teacher asked me to read a book for class, I was on Spark Notes that night just to get out of reading that book. I hated reading, so I was surprised when I got low ACT scores. I never really thought this was an issue, so I didn't worry about it. But through someone in my class, my junior year teacher got a hold that our English and reading skills were very low scoring, and she was determined to help. Throughout the year, she would give us small quizzes with our reading and then questions to help with the reading section. She would also give us tons of grammar work every week, along with notes that we should study. Around this time, I also started using Khan Academy, a free online service that works essentially as a tutor. With all those factors playing in, I was able to raise my scores. English went from a 14 out of 36 to a 26 out of 36, and reading went from a 19 out of 36 to a 24 out of 36. Now I'm a freshman taking English Comp 1. It just sometimes randomly hits me how far in life we are sometimes. We all used to be a small little baby with the only way of communicating was crying, screaming, flailing our arms up and down, just trying to get our parents' attention. Now look at all this. We don't speak, we don't talk. We can type out an entire draft on a multimodal literacy project and then put it all into a YouTube video that not only are my teachers going to hopefully watch, that I'll hopefully also get more than 5 views on this. All that's due to literary sponsors, the people who have helped us grow and be able to function in society. My name is Trey, and thanks for watching this video. Bye.